DJ Mikey Mike in Direct Sound, and it's all about fog today. That's right, it's all about fog. And we're going to talk a little bit about fog today, fog and hazers and dancing on a cloud and things like that. But mainly we're just going to talk about fog, okay? Your regular fog juice or haze machines. There's some things you need to know. Pretty much it's a no-go at just about 99% of the venues that you work at. Okay, it sets off the fire alarms. We have a lot of issues, but not at everyone. Okay, now if you go to, for example, Mobile Beat, they'll be using fog in a lot of the demo rooms and doing things like that. Why? Why is that? Okay, sometimes they might set the fire alarm off here or there, but why is that? Okay, well, let me let you know. Okay, so during the day I work for Virgin Galactic in the spaceship company. I'm the safety supervisor and the fire safety authority. Okay, so I know a little bit about fire systems. Okay, and there's different things that you need to know about fire systems that fog will trigger. Now, for example, if you have a lot of particulates in the air, okay, and you have a regular smoke detector, there's a little laser or a little chip in there that counts particles going by. Okay, and it says, oh, one little dust particle, two little dust particles, and or smoke particle. It's a particle. It's a little particulate. Okay, when it sees too many of those, no matter what it is, it could be water droplets. That's why if you're taking a shower and sometimes your smoke detector goes off, because it sees too many particulates in the air. Okay, it's not because there's a fire. It's just particulate counting. So it's counting these little particulates. Okay, if you had a really super dusty room, it might do the same thing. You might be by the beach and it has a lot of fog in the area. It might do the same thing. It's a particulate. Okay. Now, some venues have smoke detectors. Okay, and that's counting particulates. Some venues have heat detectors, not smoke detectors. So this it's looking for a heat signature or it's looking for a temperature difference. Okay, so your smoke is not going to set the heat detectors off. It's great when venues install heat detectors instead of smoke detectors in some areas. Now, a lot of times what happens is they put a smoke detector in their ventilation system and it detects the smoke when it goes through. So that's why it's really sensitive in setting those things off. Sometimes they're not in the rooms or in the ventilation. You get that HVAC system, the HVAC system, and then when it sucks it through for the return air or the makeup air, it sees those particulates and it sets the smoke alarms off. A few techniques, and you need to know your venues. Some venues are very sensitive, some that aren't. Unfortunately, once you set the system off, the fire department, most of the time they're keyed into the fire department, and the fire department's going to respond, their alarm system's going to go off, their alarm department's going to call. It's a big hassle. Hotel's a big thing too. They got to evacuate the building. People don't like to leave the hotel at 11 o'clock at night in freezing weather and getting out there sitting on the curb. It's not fun. So I get it. I totally get why they don't like to let you use fog. But some venues do allow it because they have different kind of fire systems, or it's not so sensitive. But you have to be conscious of that, and you got to be a professional DJ and or lighting professional that uses fog and uses it wisely. Now everybody goes, oh, haze, it doesn't set the fog alarms off. It sure does. If you have enough particulates in the air and it's a smoke detector, it will set the particulates off, or it'll set the fire alarms off. Okay, so haze is a little bit lighter than regular fog. You see fog coming out, it's shooting out, it's a big cloud of white smoke. That big cloud of white smoke drifts over to a fire detection system. It's probably going to set the alarm off. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to do small bursts, get a little bit of particulates in the air, just enough to see those beams. Okay, you don't want to fog it out. It's not like London. Okay, I mean, we all love that. I love to black it out sometimes, but just to let you know, especially those guys out there with LED fixtures that don't have a whole lot of punch, the less fog you use, the brighter your lights are going to look, because the particulates in the air are going to block the light. Okay, I have American DJ and Elation 5R fixtures, and if I put too much fog in the air, where do my lights go? Hey, these things are some of the brightest lights in the industry right now. But if I put too many particulates in the air, it's going to block that light. Okay, just like low-lying fog does, it's almost a solid particulate. Light's not going to go through it. It'll lay on top of it. But if I try to shoot light up underneath it, you're not going to see it. So, little techniques that you got to learn. I do two things. When I'm allowed to use fog, or I'm not really sure, mostly when I'm not really sure, I'll bring the smallest little guitar center fogger, a little 900 to a 800 watt fogger. I will put a big fan behind it, and I will just tap the fogger, and I'll blow a little smoke out in the room, okay? And that's it. And then that'll give me enough to use my beams, okay, or use my lighting. I get a little bit of effect. It looks really good. When I know that I can use fog or haze, now the problem with haze is it's always going. You really, most of the time, it's just running constantly. You don't have control over it. When you use a fog machine or a, sometimes they call it a phaser because you're using a fan and a fog machine. They call it a phaser or something like that. I don't know. But be conscious of what you're doing. Give a little tap. Blow it out as far as you can, as fast as you can, to get those lights to be able to see the fog and see your beams. Do it every once in a while, but not all the time. And don't do a lot at one given time. You're going to get a lot further with your fog. It's going to look a lot better. People aren't going to have issues with the fog and smell it and go, oh, my eyes hurt and things like that. So when you're allowed to use fog, use it the right way. Okay? I have a giant Martin fogger. I have a Chauvet Arena 2100 fogger. I have a small American DJ fogger, and I have a small Guitar Center fogger. I use all those from time to time depending on what the venue is. Okay, so you need to use them wisely. Now, like I said, if you get a big fan behind your fogger and push that fog out quickly, it'll get it to the other side of the room quickly, still have that, you know, punch to it a little bit, and your lights are going to look really well. Okay, so use it accordingly. Okay, it's a particulate. Fire alarm systems will see that if it is a smoke detector. If it's a heat detectors are always nice, but they don't cover everything. Sometimes it's really smoky. The fire alarm's not going to go off because it's not enough heat, but you can still die. So if they have a venue that has 24-hour security, people in the rooms, things like that, that are monitoring these systems, they can pull the manual fire alarm and call the fire department if needed. So that's a little bit about fog. Okay, so use your fog wisely, especially when and where you can use it. Always ask permission. Don't just assume you can use it because you used it there once before, you know, and try to get away with it. Because you know what? You're going to be evacuating buildings. The fire department's going to come, and you're going to look bad, and it makes the whole industry look bad. So make sure that you know the rooms that you can use fog in. Okay? Low-lying clouds are the same. There's a particulate there. The cool thing about low-lying fog or low-lying cloud effects is it stays to the ground. Most of the time, the particulate detectors or the smoke detectors are at this level or higher. Okay? You'll see them around the room. They're about this level. Most of the time, that low-lying cloud effect is not going to rise up to this level. Okay? Aerial fog, regular fog machines, heating type elements are going to do that. Hazers, phasers, all that stuff will rise. You want an aerial fog. That's what's going to get you your beams of light. That's great for lasers, light shows, things like that. Okay? There's really not a whole lot you can do about the fire alarm systems when you're using fog if it is a smoke detection system. Okay? There's a couple things that you can do. Now, these are tips and tricks that you might be able to work with your venue. It might cost a little bit more money, but you might get bigger impact, and it might be worth your while or worth your client's while to spend the extra money to get that better effect. You can work with some venues and some fire departments. You can actually hire a fire watch. They will actually disarm your system, okay, or let the hotel disarm their system, and then you have, say, a off-duty fireman standing there. In case of a fire, they can call 911, or they actually manually pull the alarm, and then the fire trucks will come. Also, other systems are available. In some rooms, they have areas that they can actually turn off the smoke sensors in some rooms. So the smoke, they put it in test mode, or they put it in, they just disable them for a certain amount of time. So if the alarm company sees a smoke detection in room A, they call the hotel. There's a DJ in room A. Yes, there is. Okay, no problem. And then they press on from there. Okay, there's no fire. They go and investigate. No fire. Everything's good. Alarm company puts it back into test mode. Everything's good. Okay, and they put it in for a certain time frame from the time frame of the wedding, for example. And then at the end of the day or end of the evening, they put it back into regular mode, and everybody's protected. Those things you have to work out with your venue. It's really touchy. A lot of venues don't like to do that. They might do it for an extra charge, but those are some options that you might look at. So this DJ Mikey might give you some tips on fog, low lying clouds, alarm systems, fire detection. I hope this helped. Work with your venues. Be courteous. You know, we're all trying to work together here. I love to use fog everywhere. And believe me, I have set off my fair share of fire alarms with some of the huge foggers that I've had in the past. Getting a little bit smarter and working a little bit better with my venues, I've been able to slowly bring back fog in some rooms because I'm conscious on what to do and how to use them. Okay? This is DJ Mikey Mike with Direct Sound, doing a quick video on fog. Hope you liked it. Leave some comments down below. Tell me what you think. Peace!